Hello once again, and as the title suggests, I have put the Focus in for its MOT. Its MOT had actually been due in a few days' time, so I put it in today while at work, and no surprise, it has passed with no advisories whatsoever. I just hope the rover passes in the same manner, but absolutely nothing. Now, I'm going to show you some interesting emissions results, which may have some bearing on some of the fuel trims I may have been having. Now, this was done on an old-fashioned machine because sometimes the printouts can actually be much bigger than this. But basically, yeah, engine temp measurement by manual observation of the temperature gauge, fast idle. Now, the maximum for the CO is 0.20. It was 0.14 on the fast idle. So it's this cat, which is an aftermarket cat. It's done 6 years and about 15,000 miles. And I think we're getting towards where it's starting to get over the hill. But it's still, I think I've got a couple of years to go based on that. Hydrocarbons. Now that is unburnt fuel. 81 ppm. The maximum is 200. Now I swear to God, I'm sure it was higher than that a couple of years ago. So whatever I've done, I suspect the coil pack, HT leads and spark plugs, that's always a good tip to start off with, has reduced the number of unburnt fuel, but there's still some going through, and I suspect that that is due to some slight overfueling. And if you look at the lambda reading, 1.01, so not in the middle. The where has it gone? That's right, this is the scope at which it will pass on the lambda test. 0.97, 1.03. So 1.01 is kind of on the rich side. It should be 1.00. So yeah, that is something to be slightly aware of. It is fractionally. But again, manual check on the idle test, yeah, CO 0.05, and I think the maximum is 0.30. So we're nowhere near there on the natural idle. On the fast idle, it wasn't quite so good with the cat. But that I'm pretty impressed. The hydrocarbons, Focus Mark 1s tend to do this a lot with unburnt fuel. I'm not quite sure why. I think the ignition systems aren't particularly great, particularly as they get older. I think the software isn't the most brilliant, but you know, it's better than what it was. So I've done something to change that, but I'm not quite sure what. Maybe the HT leads made the most difference, because I have changed the HT leads for a replacement genuine ones, but that always helps. But yeah, you can see the maximum 0.20 on the CO, hydrocarbons 200. Yeah, passed. Lovely. That's crackers. That's great. That's lovely. So yeah, my car is in fine fettle, and I am just going to do some shopping. And what a lovely MOT go is, they always give me plastic wallets every time I go. I keep collecting them. So yeah, that's amazing. And the car just runs and runs, and no advisories, nothing to worry about. And he said it was absolutely the tidiest Mark 1 he'd ever seen in his life. And I'm pretty sure most of you who have been watching my videos since the start will pretty much think the same. You know, it's probably not as tidy in the flesh as what it looks on camera. I can assure you, it's one of those 10-foot cars, I think, specifically with the paintwork on this side. But yeah, I am really pleased with that. But I wasn't surprised at all, to be honest. I was more concerned about the emissions, and that tells me a lot about where we are with the car. So slightly on the rich side of the lambda reading, and of course possibly because it's fractionally overfueling, the hydrocarbons are a little bit higher, because I suspect the car is I think the ECU is compensating to a certain amount, but you're still going to have a certain amount of hydrocarbons. I've had this hydrocarbon issue for quite a few years now, and it's just a thing with Mark 1 Focuses. If you've got, I say, if with your Mark 1 Focus, particularly the petrol models, I'm more interested in this particular engine, the 1.4, 1.6, or even the Zetec 182 litre models. Let us know what your hydrocarbon readings were at an MOT test. Just for curiosity. So put in the comments, if you've got your emission stats, what the hydrocarbon, the HC readings were. Do any of you have this problem? Whenever you go to Aldi's or Lidl's, you just cannot resist the middle aisle. Every time I go in there, I just get caught on tools and resources. And you know what? I've bought some really good stuff at absolutely ridiculous prices, like the abrasive wire wheels on my drills, £4 a pop. Online I can't get it cheaper than that, so I've always bought resources, but I've ended up buying something else that I feel could be useful, but I'm not quite sure what yet. You see my shopping, and you see a rectangular universal wheel dolly. I have absolutely no idea why I've bought this, but I've got a feeling that I might find this really useful. I think there's been particular times where I've actually wanted to transport something on the floor rather than using my back because of the weight. I mean, this apparently takes up to 250 kilograms. That's a gearbox. That is 100% something I could use with transporting gearboxes. And I'll tell you something, that may come up particularly with the Rover, but you never know when you might need one. And at £12, that's really good, because online I think you're looking at about 20 for one of these, and it's a decent size. I went for the rectangular one instead of the circular one. I mean, a circular one might have been better for the gearbox, but I think a rectangular one is much more universal. But either size, they were the same price. So yeah, I really have I've got a serious problem with Lidl's, and I must stop doing this.